Thursday, September the 20th, and this is your Barbados Today Evening News Update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, Labour Minister Colin Jordan today sought to assure workers that they will not be on the front line of the government's restructuring exercise. Addressing the opening of the 12th Biennial Delegates Conference for the Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations this morning, Jordan says there's no escaping job cuts, but maintains that the government is sharing the burden among other stakeholders. He, however, called for all hands on deck to help the island return to stability.
The last few years have been difficult for Barbados, as the island's economic and financial fortunes have taken a severe blow. We have lost a decade. Workers have not escaped unscathed from the misfortunes that the island has experienced. As a matter of fact, workers in the public sector have been on the front line of bearing most of the burden, with increased taxes and no salary increases. I will remind you that in the 1991 to 93 period, workers in the public sector also bore the brunt of efforts to revive the economy. The party in government, of which I am proud to be a part, was born out of the struggle of workers. And that is why one of the first actions this government took on assuming office was to negotiate and obtain an agreement for a 5% salary increase to public sector employees.
And CITUSA President Cedric Murrell urged the trade union movement to be a full partner in the rebuilding process, and he challenged labor leaders to address a number of issues.
As trade unionists, we have to critically examine ourselves to determine how we will play our role in this challenging environment. Must we modify how we operate? Must we adjust to the changing conditions of the workplace and the demands of the workforce? Should we examine our traditional societal alliances and comradeships? Colleagues, I say that as trade union leaders, we must ensure that our members are equipped to cope in this challenging environment. This means providing opportunities for them to upgrade their skills and to retrain. It means developing programs to assist them with new initiatives. And it also means standing with them when they need us most.
In other news now, overseas creditors will have to wait a while longer to know the details of the restructuring plan to suspend payments due on government debts owed to them. Governor of the Central Bank of Barbados, Cleverston Haynes, gave the assurance that they are not being ignored. He was speaking during a news conference yesterday. Now, last week, the External Creditor Committee expressed concern that it has had no meaningful interaction with the government in recent weeks over the terms reached on the IMF staff agreement. Governor Haynes, however, assured their concerns will be addressed.
There will be a separate package for the overseas holders. As you would appreciate, the domestic debt constitutes the largest segment of the overall stock of debt, and we considered it prudent for us to focus initially on trying to bring to closure the domestic portion, but rest assured that we have been in discussions with the external bondholders and their creditor group, and we are hoping to be able to address that situation in the not too distant future.
Government today appointed Barbadian international pop icon Robin Rihanna Fenty as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary. She will hold specific responsibility for promoting education, tourism and investment for the island. Prime Minister Motley said government was honored to be able to confer the title on the outstanding Barbadian who has contributed significantly to raising the island's profile across the world. She also praised Rihanna's creative acumen and shrewdness in business, adding that it was also fitting to engage and empower her to play a more definitive role as government seeks to transform Barbados. Rihanna was appointed as one of Barbados' cultural ambassadors in 2008, undertaking promotional work on behalf of the ministry with responsibility for tourism. In accepting her new duties, Ambassador Fenty noted that she was ready to play her part in creating a new Barbados. She said she couldn't be more proud to take on such a prestigious title in her home country, and she was looking forward to working with the Prime Minister and her team to reimagine Barbados. Rihanna urged Barbadians to play a role in rebuilding the country.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. It's now official. Anal intercourse between two consenting adults is no longer a criminal offense in Trinidad and Tobago, at least for now. The High Court in Port of Spain has modified sections 13 and 16 of the Sexual Offences Act, making it legal for consenting adults to engage in such activities. The ruling of Justice Devendra Rampersad was the culmination of months of intense legal debate between attorneys for the state and Trinidad-born gay rights activist Jason Jones over the acts being punishable by imprisonment. Now, Justice Rampersad delivered the ruling at the Hall of Justice 6 months after he found in April of this year that the constitutional rights of those who wish to engage in anal sex were being infringed. However, there is the possibility that the judge's ruling may be overturned, since the state has indicated its intention to appeal the matter all the way to the Privy Council in London. And on the international front, the head of the European Council says Britain's proposed new economic partnership with the EU will not work. Prime Minister Theresa May said her proposals are the only serious, credible way forward. But the EU's Donald Tusk insists the plans risk undermining the EU's single market. He was speaking at the end of an EU summit in Salzburg, where leaders of these 27 remaining member states discussed Brexit.
First, we reconfirmed that there will be no withdrawal agreement without a solid, operational and legally binding Irish backstop. And we continue to fully support Michel Barnier in his efforts to find such a model. Second, we agreed to have a joint political declaration that provides as much clarity as possible on the future relations. Everybody shared the view that while there are positive elements in the Chequers proposal, the suggested framework for economic cooperation will not work, not least because it risks undermining the single market. Third, we also discussed the timetable for further negotiations. The moment of truth for Brexit negotiations will be the October European Council. In October, we expect maximum progress and results in the Brexit talks.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.